I think it's safe to say it's really dead this time, and this is not clickbait. It's done.
Not really how I wanted my week to end, but hey, it's here.
2 episodes ago, I was talking about the clutch because it was getting a bit sticky. Put some brake fluid in, and I thought, oh, that'll do it. That'll be fine. I did say in that video I need to go and check that the clutch is okay before I go to Europe. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. What a morning that's been. Getting that on that truck, I was so nervous and so anxious. But thankfully I'm at Oaktree now and it's in the bay, and yeah, the guys are cracking on with it. It was overhanging. I mean, the guy, the AA man, he was a legend, he really was. He, you know, talked me through everything, made sure I was all good and showed me what's going to happen and all this and that. So he was an absolute diamond, he really was. And yeah, was there bang on time. It was between 8 and 10 window, and yeah, but I do not envy anyone having to do that, because that was just, it's like your whole house on the back of a truck, and I'm like, I mean, I just don't want that to fall off or get stuck or, you know, anything. And it was, because I was on the site, it really wasn't easy to get it on. But yeah, at Oaktree, in safe hands now. My 2026 Moments on the Road calendar is now available. It's turned out fantastic. Now, this consists of 12 images, all taken by me from locations throughout the UK and Europe of some of the best places I've been. Now, just flicking through, it is fantastic. The quality has turned out amazing, it really has. But look at that, look at that. Now, not only do you get 12 high quality images, all taken by me, you also get the calendar area, but you also get the what 3 words of each location. So if you want to go here, you just pop that in and off you go. Or there, or any of them. How good is that? They're available in my shop now. Scan the QR code up here, click the link in the description. They'll be shipping early November. So what actually happened? Well, I was driving back from the NEC. I can't remember what day it was. But yeah, I was driving back after one of the days of trading, after it was all open, and the clutch just was sticking a lot more, and it just wouldn't come back up, to the point that it went down, and I was like, oh, I can't get this back up. What is going on? What is going on? Hazards on, and I was across like a roundabout, and I was half in one lane, half in another, and I was like, please, no, not now. The stress on that was just, because it's your home, you're just like, please, I don't want anything to go wrong. Now, I accept that things go wrong, and I accept that, you know, problems and normal things break. You know, this is part of life, everything breaks, you know. But you do start to panic, and you do start to worry, because obviously it's my house. It is, you know, so yeah. So hazards were on, I'm trying to, you know, figure it out, and then I managed to get the clutch back up. I managed to start get going again, and yeah, I mean, I've got no footage of this because that was the last thing on my mind. Filming it was just no, not on my mind at all. Getting footage for a vlog for this video was not there. The thought wasn't there until probably like 2 days after. And it's like, well, did you get any film footage of it? And I was like, no, as if I did that. It happened spare of the moment, you know, and it just broke. So I managed to get the clutch up and then push it back down and get it into a gear and then start driving again. And then that happened a few times. And I managed to limp it back to Summerswood, where I then managed to get in the gate, which was so painful. It was like, because I was just, every moment was just getting it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I was just thinking, this is just going to end. I'm going to be broken down. I am going to be broken down here. That is one of the last things I want, because it was the start of the show, for one,
2, I don't want to be broken down at the side of the road in a dangerous place. That's the main thing, to be fair, because I don't want to be in danger, and I don't want my home to be in danger. You know, I kind of like my house. I love my motorhome, so no, I don't want that. So I managed to just keep it going. I got to the Summerswood gate. I got in the gate, and then I managed to just get it to pitch, and that was it. It was on pitch, and yeah, it was now as exactly the same as a static caravan, basically. So yeah, I'm back at the pitch and I'm safe, and that was the main thing. I'm safe, the motorhome's safe, no issues. It's just obviously something's broken. Like, I don't know what the ins and outs of it is. John from Life Beyond Bricks, he quickly had a little look under it and had a little, shine the torches, have a look. Because I rung them up and said, yeah, my clutch has just gone. And they were still at the NEC and they were on their way back. So when he got back, he had a little look. The brake fluid that I put in had gone down, not tons, but it was now just hovering just above the minimum when I did top it up quite full. So yeah, there was a leak somewhere. John had a little look under there, and he said it was a leaking slave cylinder of the clutch. So yeah, that's not good at all. And then basically, I knew I needed a new clutch, so I had no choice. I couldn't do anything about it there and then, because I was on the show and I wasn't. I've been. The show happens once a year, so, and I was safe and sound on Summerswood, so I just left it there, and I'm ever so grateful. But yeah, John and Tash took me in and home each day in their motorhome when they went in. So yeah, massive thank you to you both. Without you two taking me in and bringing me back, I would have had a very big bill for Uber because that would not have been cheap at all. 2 trips a day, backwards and forwards. So yeah, massive thanks. And I know you guys are always there for me, and I'm always there for you guys. But yeah, it is just, at that point you are reliant on other people, and it does. Whereas this lifestyle is quite an independent lifestyle. You are very independent. You go find your own, stuff. It is an independent lifestyle, to be fair, but at that time you know how independent you're not, because you now need other people, and that's where your community and your friends and that come in. So yeah, massive thanks to John and Tash for that. So basically that's kind of it. So it broke, and then I called my recovery that's with my insurance company. I called them a couple of days later. I told them what the situation was. I said I'm not leaving until Sunday night, Monday. I spoke to Oaktree, Rob and the team. I say this every time, but honestly, I cannot stress this enough. They are legends. They really are. It just didn't bat an eyelid. I said to Rob, yeah, my clutch is gone. And he's like, okay, we'll get that sorted, and yeah, not a problem. And I'm like, no, but my clutch has gone, this is a big thing. And he's like, it's fine, and it's one of them things you just know that they're, it's not new to them. They can handle this kind of stuff, and they've handled it many times before, and I'm sure they'll handle it many times after. So this thing is no big deal to them. It's a walk in the park. Now obviously I've got the emotion because it's my home, it's my vehicle, it's everything, but yeah, to be able to hear them reassuring me at the other end of the phone and saying, yeah, we can do that, no problem, we can fit it in, we'll try and get parts now, and we'll try and start the process. So I spoke to my insurance and the recovery. They said that they needed to send someone out just to check to see if they could do a repair. I was pretty certain that wasn't going to happen. So was John. And then they came out. They were going to come out late one night, but then they kept knocking it down time, so it was going to get to about between 12 and 2 in the morning. And I was like, look, I need to go to sleep. I know this is a bad problem and a bad situation, but I need to go to sleep, and I'm on a campsite, and I don't want to be disturbing and making racket with a recovery guy coming to check the van. So they rescheduled it for the next day. They came out, had a little look and said, yeah, it's dead, it's not moving anywhere, you need to be recovered. And I was like, I knew that, I knew exactly that, but they have their processes, you have to follow the procedure, and they come out and check it just in case they can repair it and it's a misdiagnosis, or because I'm no expert. At the end of the day, what do I know? I know nothing about vehicles like that. So yeah, they've done that. He confirmed that it was a slave cylinder and it needs to be recovered. So then they booked me in for Monday morning at between 8 and 10. Monday morning comes, so I finished the show on Sunday, and absolute fantastic show, and I really appreciate everyone coming to say hi and having a chat, and really, I told a few people there that I had this problem, and they were, really, sympathetic and everything, and yeah, really caring, really, thoughtful and everything. So again, thank you ever so much. The community is absolutely fantastic. So Monday morning comes, and as you've seen, yes, they've recovered it. That was so stressful, getting that on, because the guy that turned up, he said that it might not fit, and then they start measuring it, and then there's going to be overhang, and then he's worried, is it too much overhang? So he checks with his superiors, and they say that it's fine as long as it's strapped down, it's all still hooked up with the guide, like the winch. See, I know nothing, I was calling it a guide, it's a winch. It was still hooked up to that. He strapped all the wheels down, and he said like most of the weight is on the first rear axle, not the second. So yeah, as long as that one's on and the other one was half on, then yeah, it was going to be fine. But it was so hanging off, and so to say it was like that kind of moment and a twitching moment, it is an understatement to say the least. My guts were turning, my inside, and I said, I asked the most stupid of questions, I really did, and I said to the guy, he's like, look, it will fit, we can get it on, the overhang's fine, can we crack on with this? And I was like, I've got one question I have to ask. Now when I say the question I asked, you're going to think, really, did you ask that? But I don't know, you might be sympathetic, because Tash was there with me whilst it was getting loaded, and she could see I was nervous and I was a bit anxious. So yeah, she was doing her best to reassure me and everything.
She's like on a Nintendo.
So I turned to this guy and I said, look, I know you can get it on the vehicle, you said you can do that, I know you can strap it down, but my biggest question is, are you insured if it falls off? Because that's my entire house, that's my entire world. Like, if it falls off the back, and he looked at me and he said, dude, it's not going to fall off. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want anything bad to happen to my home. So, yeah, he assured me that it wouldn't fall off. And he said, like, look, one, it's not going to fall off. And two, we're one of the biggest recovery companies in the UK. We're the AA, we're fine. We've got you covered. So I was like, yeah, that's true. And he, he was doing his best to assure me, and he did, because it was just that time. I was panicking. I was panicking, and I was a bit, I can't control this. So, and I am one of them ones, if I can't control it, then I don't really worry about it. But obviously, this is a bit of a different situation, because I can't control it, but I am worrying about it a hell of a lot, because at the end of the day, like I say, and I keep repeating, it's my home, it's my house. And that is the bit of van life that, does get you right between the eyes when something happens to your vehicle, because you are at the mercy of others, and you're at the mercy of, the situation, basically. There was a bit of a drag at the back because I've got the tow bar. What can you do? At the end of the day, it's a big vehicle. It's got the tow bar and it's got the nudge bar at the back. So, that is what it is. You've got to deal with it. So, yeah, it goes up, and when it starts going up, it proper wobbles and judders, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how it didn't flip the truck, because I was just like, it's so heavy at the back and it's bouncing around so much. How is this doing this right now? How is this not, it just didn't look logical. Once it was on the back of the truck though, I felt a lot better. The overhang was so scary, but once it was on, I was like, yep, fine, wicked. We now, you know, can get on the road and get it to Oaktree. I'm only about 55 miles from the Summerswood campsite to Oaktree, so not, you know, Timbuktu, so that's good. So yeah, it was a bit of a windy trip here, so it did wobble at the back end a bit, and the guy was like, yeah, it is windy, I can feel it, but we're all good, and yeah, got it here. Thankfully, Oaktree asked if we can unload it in the yard next door because of the stones again, and it'd be too much of an angle to get it off, and it'd drag. But on normal ground, on concrete, they can put the sliders under, and the sliders move because the concrete's smooth, whereas stones aren't. It works well, and it just moves. Oh, such relief once it's off of that truck and on hard ground, and it's no longer dangling and bouncing around and overhanging and just God knows what. The sigh of relief that just went off in my head, my shoulders, my heart, my whole body just went, we're good. Now I'm safe. My house is safe. It can now be fixed because I know the guys here are just, you know, they've got me covered all the time, and they really have. They're just wonders. They really are. I just love them. I love them so much.
As you can see, it is in bits, starting to get done. Martin is cracking through it. He's taking bits and bobs off. It's just a massive puzzle. What needs to come off to actually get access to the clutch is, well, once you've done it, then you know, but until that point, it's like $1 million question because, yeah, there's so much buried in there. I mean, it is my absolute worst nightmare looking at all that stuff, but I have seen where it is actually leaking, so I can see the leaking slave cylinder, and Martin's shown me the whole clutch system because you know what, I've driven vehicles, many different vehicles, and you know, was a lorry driver, but to say I know anything about them is a lie. I do not know anything about them, but yeah, Martin's cracking on with it. Now this job was thrown on them, so they're trying to fit it in between their regular customers and everything, so yeah, it's not a quick job, and it's not going to be done today or anytime soon, so yeah, that does put me in a little bit of a situation with my plans going to Europe, because I've, you know, now got to delay a lot of stuff and then continue on further down, because I did have a lot of things booked in this week that I needed to do, which are now going to have to push on to maybe next week or the week after, which is then cutting my time really thin for Europe, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm not too sure how that lies at the moment, because like I say, I don't know when this is going to be done, how it all goes or pans out, so I'm playing everything by ear, and then I've got to rearrange all my other little meetings and jobs and things accordingly. So as of right now, it is all up in the air. I do want to just say a massive thanks to everyone that did come and say hello to me, Tash, and the Park for Night team at the NEC. Love you all. I can't thank you all enough for coming to say hello, and people that bought the book, the absolute legends, you really are. I will leave a link to the book and the new calendar in the description below. But yes, until then, I will love you and leave you until next week. Hopefully I will have a land yacht on the road with a new clutch, wheels rolling, good to go. Until then, take it easy. Bye.